So I actually got this question slash comment that I actually thought was awesome to talk about. So let's talk about what exactly it is that we can do if we know that we can manifest. We have seen it come to fruition. We understand our power, but we still have those moments where we're like, what if I can't maintain it though? Like, I know I want this new job. I know I'm going to get this new job, but what if I can't fulfill the duties? Like, what if they're asking more of me than what I can produce? Or I know I'm going to get money. Like, it's always been easy for me to manifest money, but for some reason, I feel like, I get scared. Am I going to lose the money? In layman's terms, that really is a version of having like a fear of success, essentially. So there is a part of you that understands that you have some power here. You do have the power to create, but there is still a gap there that is making you second guess or doubt your ability to sustain it. These feelings, I think, are very, very common. I don't think we talk about them enough. And I know that I've certainly dealt with it. The thing that I learned how to do was release work. So there is still that part of you that is attached to old versions of you. So you have to release those old versions of yourself. A lot of times, the reason why we are questioning if we can maintain something is because there's already been a pattern in our lives somewhere where we feel like we have not been able to properly hold on to something. So you have to detach yourself away from the old version of you. Like for me, for example, money was a huge issue for me. I've never had a problem making money. I've always been able to make money. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, like several businesses. Working for myself was the norm for me. I actually could not really stay at a job for too long, and that was just because I knew I was supposed to be working for myself. So I understood that part of me. I understood how to go make the money. My problem was always keeping the money. I used to have the worst time, y'all, with being able to keep a dollar. And it used to frustrate me so bad because I would come across a lot of money. And then next thing I know, I'm like, where the hell did all my money go? So, yes, I can manifest it quickly. I have been in situations where I have literally said I wanted some money, and a few hours later, I received money. What I've had to learn throughout my process is that I was still attached to old versions of myself. I was still attached to childhood conditioning that I was allowing myself as an adult to embrace. So I grew up in a household, for example, where we were taught and told that, rich people were evil, for example. There was a lot of conversations about not having enough. I moved around a lot. So I didn't have like a lot of stability growing up in terms of like a home structure. So when I became an adult, I went and just perpetuated that cycle for a while. And so I was allowing my big girl self to still be tied to old childhood conditions and belief systems. You have to remove yourself from that. You have to detach from that. The way that I've learned to detach from that is through release work. I personally love, love, love to journal. I love to write things out. I honestly do believe that there is power when you put pen to paper. And so for me, one of my favorite like release practices is I will allow myself to go through all the questions. Any question that I have just ruminating in my mind about like, am I going to be able to maintain this manifestation? I go write it down and answer it. Why am I afraid that I'm going to lose the money? Well, I'm afraid because this has happened in the past, or every time I've come across this X amount of dollars, there was an accident that happened, or somebody needed some money, or I will go through and allow myself to answer all of the questions that my brain is coming up with. Your brain is looking for answers. Give it the right answers, give it the honest answers. But once I am done with that, the last question I always love to ask myself is, what is the worst case scenario if I lost this manifestation? If I did not maintain this manifestation today, whatever that thing was, so let's just say with money. If I end up losing the money, right? If I end up losing the job, if I end up losing the man, if those are the thoughts that I'm having, what's the worst case what's the worst thing that could happen? I lost it. But doesn't that mean I can get it back though? When you lose something, I personally believe that 99% of the time you can get it right back. If you've ever lost money and you got money again, boom, there goes your confirmation that you can get the money back, right? If you've ever had a breakup and then you ended up in a new relationship, that means that you can get new love in your life. So when I started thinking about what is the worst case scenario, that really helped me to put myself back into a state of empowerment so that when those questions and worries start coming up on can I maintain it? Well, the answer is yes, I can maintain it, whether it is this current manifestation or if it's another manifestation that comes, should something happen to this one. So allow yourself to answer those questions. Don't try to ignore them. This is where I would say don't affirm them away. No, actually like resonate with them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if you are someone that participates in shadow work or you know anything about just kind of tapping more and learning about your shadow, this is also another great practice, even for that. Because when you start embracing your shadow side is perceived to be your negative side. When you embrace that side of you and you start, identifying with both aspects of who you are, you will feel empowered under both conditions. It's amazing to be empowered underneath both conditions. So allow yourself to release what you have been tied to. There's a reason why you are questioning if you're going to be able to maintain your manifestation. It more than likely has to do with either something that has taken place previously, whether it's a repeated pattern, or even if it was just one traumatic event that took place. There's a reason why you're questioning if you're going to be able to maintain it. You have to disconnect from that old version of yourself. So once I go through my process of answering all of those questions that my mind has come up with, I am going to then go to affirming. I'm then going to go into that mirror work that I talk about. I'm then going to go and consume myself with, content, for example, that hypes me up, that puts me back in that confident, guided state of mind, reminding myself of who I am and what I'm capable of. One another thing I like to do after I have, answered those questions is I like to go back and journal out all of the things that I have done right, especially around that particular topic. All of the times I have made money, all of the times I was successful in my career, all of the times that I did, say get clients when I need the clients to come, all of those times where I did save, thousands upon thousands of dollars. You need to go and remind yourself of what you have already done well right after you have allowed yourself essentially to be broken by asking those questions that is conjuring up feelings of worry and concern on if you're going to be able to maintain it. And this is beautiful because what's coming on the heels of this video is actually a full moon. So if anybody knows about moon cycles, your full moon is all about releasing. And there are some people that'll say like, oh, you should not, try to manifest during a full moon. I personally don't agree with that. I think that you can manifest through all cycles and with all types of energy. You can be in your highest state of mind or you could be at the lowest, versions of yourself. You're always manifesting. You just have to understand the energy that is around you, the frequencies that are around you, and utilize these things to your benefit. So underneath a full moon's energy, when it is time to release, you want to release the stuff that you think is going to prevent you from either gaining or maintaining your manifestation. So I want you to give that a try tonight. Go ahead and get your journal out, and I want you to start asking yourself those questions. Why would I not be able to maintain my manifestation? Why wouldn't I be able to keep the money? Why wouldn't I be able to keep the job? Why wouldn't I be successful here? And answer it. Go deep within your feelings and figure out, why are you feeling like this? Is it because of things that you have done in your past that you're still feeling shame around? That means it's time to release that shame. Is it because, you have a pattern of not managing money well? It's time for you to forgive yourself for that. So go as deep as you need to, write that stuff down. And then what I want you to do, listen, if you're really about this life, what I really want you to do is I want you to fold that piece of paper away from you, okay? And light that bitch on fire. Because we are doing a full release ceremony at this point. At least that's what I like to do, okay? We're doing a full release ceremony. We are taking it from our minds. We are releasing it from our bodies. We have felt all of those emotions. We are putting it on paper and we are getting rid of it. Okay? Because when you think about it, when something is burned, it ain't coming back. That's the mentality that I want you to have about those worries or those fears that you have around, can I maintain what I want to manifest or what I know I have manifested? All right. Happy full moon.